Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. Look at this beast. This is the biggest aircraft in War Thunder, or will be. Holy crap, this was genuinely a surprise, and I'm pleased about it. Before, this patch was like, it'll be cool. Or, there's new stuff. There's still going to be the issues that we've always had, like balancing, matchmaking, all of that kind of stuff. But, the BV-238 flying boat, 6 engines. This thing is massive. When you look at the turret placements and how many guns are on them, oh my god, I cannot wait to read about this. So I'm going to be covering this real quick. I've decided to kind of tide back a little bit on the dev blogs, but on certain vehicles or where I think that a certain vehicle brings up a good point about War Thunder, I'm going to cover them. But for the most part, it'll be on a case-by-case basis. You see a BV-238, you're going to cover it. This is freaking exciting. The German super heavy BV-238 flying boat, made by the BaronVonGamez company, is one of the largest aircraft of the 20th century ever to be given shape and metal. Oh, really? I like how you said shape and metal because the Spruce Goose is one of the biggest ever. Work on designing the giant began in 1940. Its engineers intended it to become a 4-engine transport plane. However, Germany's tricky military situation forced changes in the project. The mighty 1,000 horsepower jumbo engines never reached the aircraft builders, who were ordered to repurpose the craft for military needs. The aircraft was put into testing in 1944 and its sheer size blotted out the sky. The 6-engine giant was almost 13 meters tall, with a wingspan of 60 meters and a weight of 55 tons. This miracle of engineering was intended to serve the German military as a long-range Sea Scout, a transport or landing aircraft, a torpedo carrier, and of course, a bomber. The BV-238's weight, when overloaded, exceeds 94 tons. That's like over 2 Gepards that we just covered earlier today. The aerial giant's life turned out to be quite short. The only completed plane took several test flights without armament or a bomb complement before going down to fire from American Mustangs, America, while berthed at the Schalsee Lake in Germany in the spring of 1944. 2 more completed prototypes were scrapped due to the project's cancellation. Things were going very poorly for the American Army and the manufacturing industry at this point, because American and British bombing, mother trucker. So ended the story of the largest aircraft of the Axis powers in the Second World War, and the heaviest aircraft of its time. But today, the BV-238 receives a new lease of life in the War Thunder game universe. Look at this picture in relation of this in a Panzer IV. You could carry so many Panzer IVs in that, space-wise anyway. We're pleased to present the first and only completed version of this child of Blom und Voss, the BV-238 V1. We have recreated it in-game just as it would have been had it ever been deployed, i.e. with defensive armament and several types of bomb load configurations. The aircraft's crew was planned at 10 to 12 people, most of which were gunners. The seaplane is equipped with 4 turrets carrying quadruple MG-131 13.2mm caliber machine guns. And the upper hemisphere is protected by a turret with 2 MG-151-20 20mm caliber cannons, a total of 18 guns. It was intended that the aircraft would be capable of carrying a massive bomb load. However, for game balance purposes, we're going to readdress that point. The player will have several options for bomb loads of up to 5 tons. This means that the BV-238 will be a very effective bomber and will not encounter any opponents that are too strong for it in battle. Something irked me right there with that writing. The BV-238 will be available to all players in the German aviation tree as a premium when War Thunder 1.63 Desert Hunters is released. The gargantuan dimensions and low speed of its aircraft are compensated for by its reasonable defensive capabilities and a large bomb load relative to its rank. It hardly needs to be mentioned that the BV-238 is a true jewel in the collection of any fan of the 20th century aircraft. We're eagerly awaiting this wonderful aircraft along with you. See you in War Thunder 1.63. Get your Golden Eagles ready, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we've got the BV-238, right? Which is fantastic. But there was some other German flying boats, which I'm concerned, not concerned, curious as to why the BV-222 Viking isn't in. Now, that's not to say it won't be. I'd imagine if they did the 238, they're gonna bring in the 222, the BaronVonGamez 222. Now that bad boy has a crew of 11 to 14. It could carry like 92 troops or carried wounded. Length, the wingspan's 46 meters, but when you look at the armament, it's pretty cool. It's got 3 20 millimeters and 5 13 millimeters, and like was actually produced in a decent amount of numbers. I'd say like, I think it was like 10 to 15, maybe somewhere there. Anyway, but the BV-222 was produced in wider numbers than one BV-238, and I would hope that they put it in, and I would hope that they put it in the main tech tree, not as a premium. I really think they should do it this patch with the BV-238, because that would be rather appropriate. But the BV-238 is a massive beast, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is huge. It's gorgeous. I cannot wait to try it out. Like, the bombs are dropped out of the wings because, you know, float planes, like, the float planes have pretty interesting mechanics on how to drop bombs because the bottom has to be a boat. It's a flying boat. And this is the biggest flying boat we'll have in the game. Custom battle ideas are already springing forth in my head. I hope they are in yours as well. It should be a lot of fun, but bigger than a B-29 and the H-6K. I mean, the thing's pretty massive. I'm wondering how it'll play. You know, I'm wondering if it'll be sort of, will it be as bad as the TU-4 where you just kind of like one-shot stuff? Probably not, because it doesn't have those 23s. It's got 2 20s and then a bunch of 13s though, but those 13s are going to be pretty good for what seems to be its relative battle rating. But the thing's going to turn like 8 buses duct taped together with a million strands of duct tape. You know what I mean? Like, this thing's not going to turn. It's not going to maneuver very easily. You knock out maybe even like 2 of its engines on one side, and this thing should probably drop like a brick. But it should be a lot of fun. I say that now, like, this is purely speculative. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited for this. This is something I had to cover because flying boats are near and dear to my heart. I'm a big fan of them. And anything that's just unique, strange, weird, and just gargantuan, and this BaronVonGamez 238 fits all those categories, I would really like to see it. But so instead of the HE-51H Hydro, this is the first. Well, I mean, that's not really a flying boat. That's just a plane with floats on it. But this is like an actual flying boat for the Germans. I'm really expecting. I'm going to go ahead and put this out there that if they're going to put this one out there as a premium, you better put the BV-222 out as well. But this is a pretty good marquee aircraft to kind of present in a patch to get people's attention. Because right now the situation in War Thunder is as such. You've got your core gamers like myself who, despite the trials and tribulations of War Thunder, we'll stick with it and continue playing it because we find ways to have fun. But I'd say for like maybe the average or for the first player, like that gets up into those middle and high tiers and starts to learn some of the struggles that you can encounter when playing this game, that, you know, it kind of scares them away. And that's a result of, and trust me, I kind of bought into this a while ago as well. Like, a personal confession is, a long time ago, or maybe like a year ago, 6 months ago, and before that, anytime there's new vehicles, like, I think new vehicles are great for War Thunder. I think this is good. It's you know, building hype, building intrigue. You get to play aircraft and tanks that you never would have been able to see or play in any other video game, much less really even get a there's no even like History Channel documentaries that are more than just like some old black and white World War II footage in like 30-second lengths or less, right? And so now you actually get to maybe theoretically experience what it would have been like in a video game form. Like, this is not like you're a soldier now kind of thing, but now it's getting to the point where, like, we've implemented so much cool stuff, and now they're just like going off the deep end with missiles, and like we're getting into the 1970s technology, but there's still some beasts. Like this thing represents, there's some amazing vehicles in the World War II time frame that we got, but like, it's getting very close, if not well past the time where it's time to start fixing what we got. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those vehicles that I am highly excited for. At least in theory, we'll see how it plays. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the BV-238. I'm really hoping for the BV-222 Viking to come in as well, so the Germans get some flying boats. And I'd like to see a flying boat that the Germans have that's actually in the tech tree and not just a premium. But I have to say it now, I'm probably going to be tempted to buy this and play this immediately. And I may be a sucker, but I might be highly rewarded with one of the most silliest and derpiest aircraft. And some good times in custom battles. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Baron. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in the next one. And hopefully I'll see you in the skies chasing me down while I'm flying this badass thing. Shooting you with my 13s and my 20s. See you guys next time.